Hi everyone, I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are going to do a Virgo mid-March Tarotscope. So this is just going to be an energy check-in for Virgo for the energy between now and the end of March. Anything you need to be aware of, anything your guides or higher self are wanting to pass along to you, all of that fun stuff. So do keep in mind these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon, rising, or Venus placements because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all of that information in the description box. All right, Virgos, let us see what is going on for you guys for the last 2 to 3 weeks of March. We did just come out of a Virgo full moon. I think it was last week. And the eclipse, which was a pretty intense energy. So, and for you, you're probably going to be feeling that, still feeling the effects of that pretty significantly. Just know that eclipses are always coming in to bring in change. And it's usually necessary changes. It's usually beneficial changes. Sometimes it doesn't always look pleasant, but if you can always try to see it as an opportunity to move towards something or make the change into something that is going to be more fulfilling for you. I feel like you're being guided to clear away your beliefs in regards to love and abundance that may be holding you back. There seems to be you're getting the thymic chakra, which is not one of the like main 7 chakras. The thymic chakra is in between your throat chakra and your heart chakra. So it's in between your emotional connection and your authentic voice. That is known as the karmic chakra. It's known as the chakra that when you tap on it, which is, that point in between your throat and your chest where is it the top of the sternum, the top of the ribs? Anyway, if you tap on the very top right there, tapping on that is supposed to activate your Akashic records. It's supposed to help bring to light any karma you may be dealing with. And karma in the sense of lessons that just haven't been integrated. Not karma in the sense of punishment. But basically when you tap on that and breathe through it for about 5 minutes, and you try to do that kind of consistently, like daily, it's meant to help bring to light for you anything that might be holding you back, any blockages that are preventing you from abundance, fulfillment, that you just might not be aware of. Because usually this is stuff that you aren't really aware of. It's unconscious patterns that you have. It's habits that you don't realize maybe interfering with your happiness. It's belief systems that you're holding on to that are keeping you from being in a state of receiving abundance. And I feel like that's more what it is for you than anything. It feels like this energy that you're in this space right now where things can shift for you in a very miraculous sort of way, like very overnight success type of way, like overnight abundance, overnight fulfillment in love, overnight opportunities. But there's a need to be aware of some sort of karmic energy, in the sense of, like, if you're familiar with your Chiron placement, which is your inner child wound, karma in the sense of those survival habits that you've picked up on, those protection mechanisms that you've picked up on, that at some point were, protecting you, but now they're inhibiting growth. If you think of it this way, when you go through any period of time where you are in survival mode, right? You're constantly looking for temporary relief, right? You're just trying to make it through the day. And so you pick up all of these habits and ways of doing things, just to kind of get through the day. And that works in, that's necessary for a period of time. It's what is protecting you in that period of time. But if you continue to stay in that energy, you're never stepping into a space of growth. You're just keeping up the day-to-day momentum, right? Sorry, I'm going all over the place, I'm sure. Let's see if we can get some clarity on this message and how it is showing up in your current energy. I was listening to somebody speaking one time, and he said, you don't need to manifest abundance because you're always manifesting abundance. You always have an abundance of something. You could have, if you're looking for like an abundance of money, it's probably because you feel an abundance of lack, right? You always have an abundance of something. And what you see, what appears to be most abundant in your life, is usually the thing that you have the strongest emotional connection to, and that can be good or bad, right? If you feel constantly anxious about something, you have an emotional connection to it, right? So it's sorry, I lost train of thought. It's whatever you're giving the most abundance of your energy to. So it's the strongest emotional connection you have. It's the thing that takes up the most mental state. It's the thing that is taking up the most physical state. So whatever you're giving the most abundance of your energy to, and the emotional state of that is that's the abundance that you're manifesting. And so if you don't like that abundance, you have to be able to stop giving so much emotional, mental, and physical energy to the thing that you don't want in your life. And I know that makes it kind of sound, simplistic, and it's not always that easy, but it's a start, right? But again, for you, the way it's showing up in the cards, it seems more of just a perspective shift, or kind of like revisiting your, like those beliefs that you've always held on to, and whether or not they're still benefiting you. Oh, attention is not love. Attention sometimes is just energy. Somebody that is always flattering you, somebody that is love bombing you, it's not always love. Attention is not always love. I feel like you may be starting to like see behind like the somebody's promises. Like somebody is promising a lot, or somebody that you're dealing with has a lot of potential, but is it really the same behind the surface? I also feel like for some of you, it's not a matter of like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to show up perfectly in order to receive. Like, you don't always have to show up perfectly. It's more about what's on the inside, which I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I feel like overall you're being asked to be mindful of the risks that you're choosing to take right now, because you are closer in alignment to abundance and fulfillment than you might think that you are. But you also need to be aware of like subconscious patterns or connections that like holding on to potential, or holding on to like flattery. Let me see if we can get more clarity on this. Okay, how is this showing up in your energy and your environment over the next few months? Can we get more clarity on this message? You're showing up as Ace of Pentacles, so that's in a really positive space to like start something new. And the Ace of Pentacles is like something that you can work with. It's starting something of value. It's something that you can build off of. So you're in a really positive space for new valuable valuable opportunities, especially when it comes to abundance, something stable. But I feel like the newness of it is what you may be finding challenging this week. And it kind of does require stepping into something new, being willing to be a beginner, not going about this in the same manner that you would have approached a similar opportunity in the past. Or just like being willing to accept the new opportunity. Because I kind of feel like this is a very personal thing. This is a very you thing. This is, it kind of feels like something that you're dealing with alone. Like you don't have somebody to kind of bounce ideas off of. You don't have you don't have the support. And I kind of feel like the reason that you're in this kind of space of being alone, or maybe it is stepping into this new opportunity, means going at it alone. But I think that what you're leaving behind, or the reason that you're having to step into this alone, is because what you're walking away from has been very emotionally kind of heavy. And also, like, I feel like there seems to be some sort of cycle that has been pretty repetitive over the last couple of years, and it could even be going on longer. Of something that needs to be addressed, and something that needs to be released. And this opportunity is going to lead you to more emotional fulfillment when it's all said and done. You have the opportunity to nurture this new beginning. It would be easier to nurture this new beginning if you weren't carrying like the heaviness of the past. It feels like this kind of like, should I stay or should I go kind of thing. Do I stay and try to build on what I've already put so much effort into, or do I move forward? And I feel like it's one of those things that you can't do both. You have to, if you want this new growth, it feels like you have to kind of let go of this first and then step into this. And so it kind of leaves this like, there's this element where like you're all alone, like you have no backup after you do this. And so it's like a very vulnerable space. Something about this like challenges your traditional belief system, or what you have typically believed about a specific person. And if you move in the perspective like, this is what I've always done, or this is how I've always done things, or this is how things have always been, I feel like you might find yourself like in the same like in a similar cycle. I feel like you're in a space where there's a cycle that you've been dealing with, is kind of like a lesson. And again, I don't mean like lesson in the form of punishment, but something that you've always struggled with, that has like there's like a deeper reason for it, and it's about understanding the why. Yeah, your guidance is the High Priestess. So that's about focusing on like the subtle subconscious stuff. This is not about focusing on what you're seeing in front of you, or the way that things have always been. This is about being more receptive to what goes on under the surface. Your feminine energy, your intuitive energy, your emotional energy, your emotional state of being. Because the Hierophant is like that traditional spiritual path, and the High Priestess is kind of more connecting to like your higher self. Yeah, what you're not seeing is the star card is wish fulfillment, the bigger purpose, the miracle that you're looking for. The star requires like complete authenticity within yourself. Being willing to look at yourself and being very completely transparent with yourself. I do feel that whatever this new beginning, it's like, and I don't mean to sound like so dramatic, but this new beginning kind of requires you to like walk into it like completely stripped down naked. And I don't mean for that to sound so dramatic and but like in the sense of like completely trusting, but completely trusting in yourself, not giving your authority over to something else, and doing something because it resonates with you and with your dreams. And again, I feel like the only thing that is causing some sort of conflict is a belief system that you're holding on to, that is making you kind of spin in circles about it a little bit more. You also don't want to move because you feel like you have to. Anything that feels like this is the way it's always been done, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I have to do, this is what I've been told I have to do, that's moving out of like fear, right? You don't want to do that. You want to move more based on your own inner knowing, your own inner, anything that you're doing just because that's always been the rules, or that's always the way it's been, or that's always the way this person has been. There's not enough depth in that for you to have a positive emotional connection to it. Does that make sense? And so that means that it's coming from a more fear-based action. And anytime you take fear-based action, you create more karma for yourself. You create more lessons for yourself. You create more that you have to overcome. So let me see if there are any final messages for Virgo. The Nine of Swords and the Four of Cups and the this pattern, this belief has, it seems to be an anxiety that you have, an overthinking, over analyzing, that keeps, like, you're not emotionally satisfied. And it almost feels like when you don't feel good, like you don't feel satisfied, you might tend to go, like, lean back towards traditional methods or how you've always done. When you're in a space of feeling anxious or feeling uncertain, you might automatically dip into some sort of routine that gives you comfort because it's always giving you comfort. But I feel like it's not serving you right now. It's more important right now to follow your feelings, follow your inner world, follow your inner voice, and not do things just because that's how you've always done them. I hope you guys have a wonderful month. Love you. Bye-bye.